looks like. So I want
Awesome.
to introduce Madeline Dangerfield Cha. Am I saying that right?
Yes, you are.
Perfect. She lives in San Mateo, California. She's a homebody by nature and hasn't been hard for her to adjust to the social isolation because she likes to be sheltering in place too. Um, it's her and her husband, and they have two rescue dogs, Jeff and Grilled Cheese. I've met both. Um, just like her grandmother, her favorite things are reading, art galleries, and old movies. She has a degree in English literature from Columbia University and an MBA from Stanford University. And today she runs her own technology company called Monami that makes it easier for older adults to get connected with the services. She's expecting her first child in just a few weeks in June. We're excited. Um, and we've been working with her closely for about the last 6 months. And I really appreciated her patience with some of us older staff members who have a really hard time with technology. So I'm very pleased to turn the time over to Madeline.
Thanks, Tracy. And I'm so excited to see all of you and share this untold story, but really the most important story of my year in the pandemic. I do run a technology company, and we've been working really closely with Carrie and Tracy and the whole 5-county team, which has been amazing, and have had to build a lot of new technology to meet the needs of serving older adults throughout the pandemic. But honestly, the thing that I'm the most proud of the last year is how my grandmother and I have remained connected every day using technology. She's in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm out here in California. And we've always had a close relationship, but we've never been this close. And so I'm just going to talk about our story and some of the tools that we've used to stay connected, and hope that that is useful for everybody. I'm going to leave some time at the end, so hopefully other folks can share some of their stories of tools that they've used to stay connected with friends and family, and any questions that you have. So I'm going to jump into my presentation right now. If everybody can let me know that they see it. Yeah? Okay. Okay. So this is me. I'm holding my newborn cousin Hallie in this picture, and this is my Gaga. Her name is Kathy. I was raised by my single mom and my Gaga. So we've always been incredibly close. We lived together until I was about 5, and then my mom and I moved out on our own. But every weekend until I was about 13, I spent with Gaga. And even as I've moved away, we've remained in very close touch. We would talk a couple times a week. But really this year has changed the way that we've been able to connect, because previously we would see each other at least a few times a year. But now I haven't seen her since December of 2019 in person. And she currently lives alone. So she's been completely sheltered in place and hasn't seen any family members until just recently when she got the vaccines. So it was really scary for all of us to think about her being completely by herself. And I just wanted us to stay connected. And so we worked really hard to talk every single day and to bring lots of other elements of the things that we love into the way that we spend time together. So one of the key features of that is these movie dates that we have during the pandemic. So you can see my setup here a little bit. So this is us on a video call on the iPad, and then we'll start a movie at the same time on Netflix or Hulu on our TVs, so that it's like we're in a movie theater together, but on video. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that now. When Gaga and I set a movie date on Zoom during the pandemic, We always join on time or thereabouts, not far off, but never to jump right in. I'm making oatmeal or slicing an orange bell pepper. She's pouring a Coke. We chatter. Now I can't even call to mind a single thing we've talked about in that lead up time. Must be something to do with whether she's talked to my mom or other relatives, maybe something an idiot politician said. We chew and fill time. We putz. And in some ways, that's what makes it feel most like we're physically together. The unstructured, the mundane. We could be in the kitchen together, boiling water for tea and buttering dry toast with sesame seeds on the crust. We could be wiping our hands on the same dishcloth, flipping on and off the same light switch that we thought the other was done with. But they're not yet. We could be jostling for position with our toes under the same blanket, squeaking against the pleather of the same couch, as we have been thousands of times in our lives before. When I was young and we would rent tapes from Blockbuster, first in the house she shared with my poppy, who left me with a single memory of a mustache in an armchair and football, yelling. That house had 4 or 5 bedrooms, but we shared the one off the kitchen in her twin day bed. Every weekend, the same tapes and popcorn. I don't remember having a bedtime. I don't remember ever having to be alone, to be a child. We were together as equals. Even though our tastes were different, they were both valid, even then. My animated adventures and her black and white comforts, a more familiar time and place. They are thick in our roster now. We watch Hitchcock and Crawford and Grant and Stewart. Aren't they a dream? When we get on a call, I can always tell what kind of day it's been. A day where you've been closed up like a clam in a shell, to spin and spin, frothy with repeated thoughts. Those are the days when our talking changes you, makes you looser. And a few when it changes me, and I'm reminded of how many of my needs I lock away, how little of myself I share with those even closest to me. But I tell you how I fear failure, and you find the points we've been together all over the world. This was a thing that you've had to try, you marvel. And so you have. How we're speaking now is the proof of it, and I do feel lighter, and the breathing eases, because I let you show me yourself in your eyes. And do I show you yourself too? How you sit in stillness, how you care for the world in each tiny gesture, each corner of it you touch, how you protect time and energy as precious resources, how you live equally in waking and in dreams, how you share yourself with me. Since the day I was born, I was and have been your special girl. So we get on a video now and putz until we can settle into that familiar pull, a waking dream we share. So this is us on those video calls, and this is my dog Grilled Cheese here in the bottom left-hand corner that Tracy mentioned, and my mom too. But usually it's just me and Gaga. We tend to use Google Duo to talk to each other on the far right. And the reason that we do that is because it makes a call, just like you were using your phone, but it works on any device, Android or iPhone. So we could use FaceTime, but it really only works for Apple and iPhone users. And when we want to make calls to other members of the family too, there's lots of Android phones. So Google Duo makes that a lot easier. Obviously, you're all familiar with Zoom because you're on this call with us right now using Zoom, but it doesn't call out. So it can't be that you just like start to talk to somebody whenever you feel like it. So I really like Google Duo a lot. You can download it onto your phone, and as long as the other person that you're calling has Google Duo, then it'll reach them. You also can use it on your computer, which is a nice touch. I also bought my Gaga this device that's called a Nest Hub Max. And it's kind of like an iPad attached to a speaker that just hangs out in one corner of the room. So she has it in her kitchen, and it also receives these kind of calls. It's a little bit pricey, so it's, only for, folks who have a little bit extra to spend. But the nice thing about it is that it allows you to make calls hands-free. You can talk to it. So you can say, hey, Google, call Madeline, or hey, Google, call Gaga. And you can be moving around the kitchen and cooking like I was talking about and still reach each other. It also gives you the ability to include people in your household, which means that they can pop in. So Gaga has made it so that I'm an included member of her household. So I can just pop in on her anytime as if I'm like walking into the room. So it's a way for me to just be around and check on her, and it sort of makes it feel like we're sharing the same space a little bit more. But that's totally in your control. If you don't feel comfortable with a family member or a friend having the ability to just, say hi and see into your home at any time that they want, nobody has to. It's just a feature that is available if it would make you feel closer to people. And my Gaga also has other grandchildren, obviously, and other children. She has 3 daughters, including my mom. And so we can do these group calls, which we do on a weekly basis, where there's lots of people talking at the same time. And it feels a little bit more like, it's definitely chaotic because everybody's just doing their own thing. And we all happen to be on our own devices, but that ends up working out really nicely. So for our movie dates, and it also acts as a photo screen. So when you're not using it, you just get all these different pictures from your photos when you connect your account. So these are some more pictures of my Gaga that show up and delight me throughout the day. So for our movie dates, some of these might be familiar to you that you can get for a pretty reasonable subscription. If you have Amazon Prime, for example, Prime Video comes included, and they have a huge library of movies and TV shows. Netflix, Hulu. I don't know if you've heard of Acorn TV, but that one is my Gaga's favorite. I think it's $8 a month, and it's all British TV shows and movies, lots of old mysteries. So she's, I think, watched the entire catalog and is going through it all again. So that one is super fun. But I also have here other things that we've explored throughout the pandemic that, the pandemic is really changing the way that lots of different people are holding live events and sharing content. So one of the ones that I'll call out is this organization called allarts.org. And this is an hour and a half long performance that you can watch online of Romeo and Juliet, performed by professional actors at the National Theatre in London. And there are thousands of videos like this on this website, and they're completely free. So it's a way that, these organizations are working really hard to make their content more available because they can't do live performances anymore. And, you get access to stuff all over the world. So that's been really amazing to share. You can also see here the Tribeca Film Festival is going to be happening in June. This one will cost money, but you can watch the films from home. My Gaga and I did that with Sundance this year, which maybe for some people on this call is not that special because you can just go hang out at Sundance. But for us, it was like the most amazing thing because we used to go to the Cleveland Film Festival when I was little, when we were growing up, we'd watch the animated shorts together. And then I finally graduated to being able to watch a whole movie with subtitles, which made her very happy. But this is, access to really special screenings that, normally would have only been available in person for a very high cost. Theater of War Productions, they have a lot of famous actors that are doing plays on Zoom. So Frances McDormand, who just won the Oscar for Nomadland, she's often involved, Oscar Isaac, Idris Elba. And so you're watching them perform live as they've adapted things to Zoom. It's really amazing. These on the right, they're, really famous ways that writers and authors give lectures or interviews. And they've all now moved over onto Zoom. So it's just, all of these catalogs of incredible people that you can now go back and hear the previous ones from this year. Lily King is one of my favorite writers. It's a really amazing interview that are, all online and free. So that's pretty amazing. And then there are a few here through the 92nd Street Y in New York that you have to pay to participate in if you want to see it live, which is really cool. And then you can also access their archives. So those are some of the, special arts things that Gaga and I will do together. But honestly, the same thing is just as possible with a television set and a phone. All that you need to do is select the thing that you are excited about to watch together. And it could be the evening news, or it could be, a rerun of Jeopardy, which we like a lot. And you tune into the same channel and it's broadcasting at the same time, and you're on the phone, reacting to it and laughing about the same things. And it's really just creating shared experience. So the other things that have helped keep us connected, that we've enjoyed together, I'm going to go ahead first, check on our time. We have only 10 minutes remaining, so I'm not going to actually go through this. But it's a pretty amazing experience if we were to go through this together. Google Arts and Culture has these amazing live demos of museum tours, the Great Wall of China, landmarks all over the US and all over the world. They've just cataloged as much as they can, and they've made it 100% free. So this painting, Gustav Klimt's Life and Death, as you go through this experience, I could hit play and we would have a professional curator describing different aspects of this painting and taking us through it. And it actually only takes about 5 minutes. But so it goes into each detail and gives us the experience of really being educated about different aspects of the painting that are really powerful. So there's hundreds of artworks like this on this site that it just helps you to really deepen your appreciation for it. And then when Gaga and I are doing this together, we then are talking about what it made us feel and how we really connected to it. But Google Arts and Culture on the whole, it just takes you wherever you want to go. So it's completely free, available both on your phone. There's a get the app, explore museums and play with the art filter, etc. You can do it on iPhone or Android. And it's meant for schools as well as for adults. So there's lots of interactive ways to play with it. And you can, explore museums all over the world from home, concerts, etc. It's just an amazing, amazing resource. This is also one of the, when you play with it on the app, you take a selfie and upload it, and it looks for paintings that are like a percentage match with your face. So this is Gaga, who got a 61% match with this baby and with this Martha Washington painting. I really love. Also in art, there are lots of artists, and this is one that I would recommend highly, who are holding art classes over Zoom, which is great. But I like this one in particular because she's doing guided creative workshops. So it's not like, I'm going to teach you how to paint this specific thing. It's like, here's time and space where a group of us are going to be creative together, and I'm going to give you some prompts, and you can do whatever you would like, whether you'd like to journal or draw or paint or anything that feels comfortable to you, which we've really enjoyed. Meetup groups. This is a website where you go and create a profile, and then you can join groups where it's completely free and organized by other people who have created the group. Here's one in the St. George area that's just getting out and walking. There's an upcoming event, in like multiple events in the next few days, just getting active outside, and a way to meet new people in the local area. But again, because of the pandemic, this is a group in London for antisocial social people, where they host online groups where you just like go into a group with strangers, and then they split you up into these smaller groups of 4, and you just talk and get to know each other. And it's a way to meet new people without needing to leave your house or to feel nervous about having any interactions that are high pressure, because everybody in this group is already saying like, I'm a little nervous about meeting new people and social interactions. So let's try and make it as easy as possible on ourselves. And a really international group of people, which I think is really fun. And then here's another one that's an online event hosted by folks in Stockholm next week. And it's about how people can design against ageism and make their technology products more accessible, especially to older adults. So if this side of technology is really interesting to you, this is like stuff that's going on in Europe that we can be a part of just from our homes. The other thing that Gaga and I do all the time is, we read together. So we pick the same book, and we are our own little mini book club. If you haven't met Libby yet, then I highly recommend it. It is available in the Utah library system. So this is an extremely easy way to access ebooks and audiobooks, to get them from your library onto your computer or your phone. And the process for signing up, they make it super straightforward. So you're just going through and answering simple questions so that they can get you connected to your existing library account. And then you can start renting digital titles without ever having to go into the library. Of course, I love going into libraries, but until they're fully open again, this is a great way to access that stuff from home. I also helped Gaga get Game Pigeon on her iPhone because it helps her play with my siblings. So you are literally just texting back and forth with moves in chess, there checkers, lots of other games, but you don't have to like leave text messaging. It just happens in your texts. So you can see here, my sister Grace, oops, let's go back. Oh. She texts me a move basically, and then I click on it and it comes up, I see what move she made, and then I make my next move. And then I send it to her, and then I'm waiting for her to respond. And when she moves, it texts me again. So it's a very straightforward way to just like be engaged with each other and playing something simple without needing to, delve into the whole universe of online gaming. The other phone app that my family really likes is called Marco Polo. So this is a social app, but it's a curated private group. And so you see here, each of these little tiles on the bottom is a short video that was taken by one of my family members, either my Gaga or one of my aunts or uncles. And this is one where my Aunt Colleen, she has gotten both her vaccines. She went out to an art museum, and so she took us with her, and she's just giving us these short little snippets of being in this museum, so it's like we're there with her. And there's the ability for, my Aunt Katie, who you're seeing here on the little left tile, they just got chickens, so she's been sending us short Marco Polo video updates of the chickens growing. So it's just a way that you can sort of feel like you're together and pass little messages through without feeling like you have to get on a video call every time when you want to share something. The other reason that we like this, like my Gaga doesn't like Facebook, she doesn't like Instagram, TikTok. You know, I didn't put any of that in here because all that stuff feels kind of invasive and like you have to stay engaged all the time, and you end up seeing stuff or sharing stuff with lots of people that you don't really want to spend time with. But Marco Polo is, you know, you choose the group of people who's going to see your videos, and so that group of us is just, you know, me and my aunts and my Gaga and two of her other grandchildren, and so it's like really a safe enclosed space for us. So it looks like we only have 2 minutes left, and I'm really sad about that because this was the point where I was just going to review, you know, these are the tools that we've been using. What have you been using? But I'm sure that we can connect afterwards, and when I share out this presentation through the 5 county folks, then we can add your ideas to it, because there's lots of links in here. If anything that I showed you was interesting, you'll be able to get right to it just by using this presentation afterwards. Lots of other resources in Utah, and you know, that were referenced by Leslie in her keynote. This emergency broadband benefit, that's, you know, if you don't have access to high-speed internet at home, then, you know, there's programs that will help set that up for free. Obviously, the Best Buy Geek Squad is a great place to go. They, you know, they're very helpful, and they will sometimes come, you know, out to your home and help with things there as well. Local libraries are very supportive at, you know, troubleshooting just little technical issues. And you can always email me, and I'm happy to help you get set up with any one of these activities or other things that you think that you and your family and your grandkids might enjoy. I'm just going to end with a quick story. I had a really hard time getting pregnant, and I was in the hospital after a procedure that was, you know, very dangerous for me, and had a long recovery period at the end of 2019. But coming away from that, actually, now that I'm 8 months pregnant, I feel stronger than ever because I had to work really hard at my recovery, and part of that was remaining really close with my Gaga. And I think the story for me is the same with this pandemic. It's been really hard, but we are getting stronger than ever, and we don't have to stop back where we were before. We can keep growing and using these tools to remain even more connected. So I feel really lucky that I got to share this story with you, and some of the tools that have helped me and my Gaga become closer than ever. And I hope that it was useful. It looks like we have 2 minutes left if there are any quick questions. But I'm really grateful to have been here with you all today.
Thank you, Madeline. I really enjoyed that.